All right. Now we're doing FreeCodeCamp Legacy Python for everybody. Relational databases, relationship building. All right. So let's make sure we've got our notes out. Let's format them so that they're ready for today's note taking. All right. Let's grab this right here, up to here, drop it off here. Change this to what's today? The 10th. And drop this down. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Let's go.
So now that we know what a
all right, there's the first piece of literature we need to write. Relationship building in tables. All right. Relationship building in tables. All right, let's go.
Primary key, logical key, and foreign key are, we're going to actually start putting...
Let's go back.
So now that we know what a primary key, logical key, and foreign key are, we're going to actually start putting these together and creating tables that have these kind of values in them.
Okay.
So when we were done, we drew this picture that was sort of a logical model of how our data would be spread across 4 tables and how those tables are connected. Now we have to take this and we have to map it in a way that leads to the columns and the needed columns in each of our database tables. Okay. And so here's what we do. We basically have to take, and for each of these, when we're going to build a track table, we add a primary key. So we just added an ID field to every one of these things, and that's so we have a place to store the sequence number of this particular row. We have logical keys. We've just...
Okay, back up. So is this track ID is different from this album ID? I would imagine so, right? Like, let's say this is Back in Black by AC/DC, since he's going to be talking about AC/DC so much. That would be track 1, right? And then this is on the Back in Black album. Is that the name of the album? I'm pretty sure it was. So that would... And let's say there's like 10 albums before this. So this would be album 11, right? So track 1 on album 11. Is that what's going on here? Let's see.
Just mark those. Those are strings. And then we things like, you know, rating, length, and count.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be. It's got to be. Because the title of the track is definitely going to be different from the title of the album, right? Most of the time. So let's go.
Kind of go in here.
All right, let's back up.
For the sequence number of this particular row. We have logical keys. We've just marked those. Those are strings. And then we things like, you know, rating, length, and count. They just kind of go in here. And now we have to model a relationship. Yeah. So what we do is in the table that the relationship starts from, we put one more column in, and this is the one I will name album ID. And that just is an integer column that's going to record the album ID. So this might be 16.
Okay, so yeah. Let's go back to the Back in Black thing. So let's say this was album 11. This would be 11 also, right? Because album ID is talking about the albums. So 11 over here is linked to 11 over here, right? So this album ID and this ID for the album are the same. He's saying 16, but you get it.
16, and then 16 goes in here. So there's one of these columns that's a foreign key that points to this, and that's why it's foreign. This is a key that's not in the track table. This is a key in the album table that we're pointing to, and so there's a foreign key. And that's what we have to do, and we just do that over and over and over again, and we quickly convert that picture that was a logical picture to having every table has a primary key, and every time we have a starting point, we have a foreign key, and then foreign key. True.
All right, so this would have 11, right? This is Back in Black, track 1. This is album ID, pardon me, ID 1. This is ID 11 because there's 10 albums before Back in Black. We've got, you know, all the albums we love. And then AC/DC. And this is going to match this. And then there's also genres. This is going to be like heavy metal or hard rock, whatever. And there's like 30 genres before that. So this is going to be ID 31. 31 is for AC/DC rock, whatever the name of that rock is. And there's going to be a 31 here and an 11 here. Pretty easy. And then how do these link? Oh, artist ID. So there's going to be an artist ID here. And AC/DC is going to be like artist number like 5,706, you know. or something like that. And that's what's going to go here. 5,706, 5,706, 11, 11, 31, 31. And that's how, and then the rest of this stuff is, you know, just the IDs and whatever. So let's go.
We mark these things as logical key, logical key, logical key, and we'll see how we do that.
Naming foreign keys, artist underscore ID is a convention. All right. So this is a convention, but it doesn't actually, what? But this, you can do whatever you want. All right, whatever. Let's go.
And so that's the picture. Now we have a picture of exactly how we're going to lay these tables out and the fields that we need in these tables. So we're going to do a create table statement.
Okay. All right, so let's go open up the thing, the SQL, whatever. All right, so let's get the thing we downloaded however many days ago. This thing right here, the DB browser for SQLite. Let's open this up, because that's where he is. And where is he in the video? Where is the video? All right. So we're going to come here to database structure, browse data, edit programs, execute SQL. All right. So we're going to need to make a database first, because we can't do anything. So new database. Let's go into, I guess, SQLite. Forget about it, right? And let's call it the database music. How about that? All right. So boom, save, boom. Now we got that. He just got out of this, cancel. And so now we got execute SQL, program data, and everything. So he's on the execute SQL page, as we can see right here. He's also on a Mac, so I guess that's why it's different format, whatever. All right, so here we are.
This create table statement sitting there.
All right, so we're also going to have to go to this handout page that we had open earlier. So let's do that. py4e.com. py4e.com. All right, so let's go to lessons. Database is down here at 16. And then we'll come down here to Python for Everybody database handout. I think that's what it is. Yes, there it is. All right, so now he's here. Do we need this? We don't need this anymore. Now he's here, and this is what he was selecting earlier. So now we're pretty much caught up. Let's go.
And so this one's going to be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to say create table artist, and the ID field is integer, and we're going to add all of this stuff. This is adding to the column to tell it additional stuff. It's a primary key, which means we're going to use it to look up a lot. It's automatically incremented, which means the database is actually going to provide this number for us as we insert records. It's not allowed to be null. It's not allowed to be empty, and it's supposed to be unique. And then it's going to have, the artist is going to have a name column, a name column that's just text. So let's do that.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come over here, because this is that's the actual SQL. Remember this sequential something language. What was SQL? I don't remember what SQL stands for. Let's go, hold on. SQL stands for structured query language, of course, right? So this is an actual language. So let's come over here and get this actual create table statement right here, right? So we'll get this with the integer, primary key, auto increment, null, not null, unique. We'll copy that, and we will come over here and let's see what he does.
We already have our users, and this is, now we're going to do a create table in this.
So now we're going to slap it inside of here. So let's come over here to SQL. Right here in this little box under the execute SQL. Anyway, whatever. We'll do this, and then we'll run it with play right there. And so we've got this. So let's see what he does.
SQL, and you can do that. That's okay. That's totally fine. And we have to get this right, and we say, away we go.
There it is,
and
just
so
like we got.
Now if I take a look at database structure, I've got a users table as well as that.
All right. Well, we don't have that because we just made a new database. But if we come over here to the structure, we can see we've got artists and we got SQLite sequence here. Did we do that? No. Okay, well, we've got the artist and we got this SQLite sequence too. And let's see if we learn about that. Let's go.
That users table we were playing with before, and this artist table. Let me go ahead and delete this users table just to say goodbye. Okay, so now we have the artist table, and we take a look, and it's got an ID, and it knows all about this stuff. Okay?
Okay, let's go look at ours. ID, name, true. All right, let's go.
So, that created the table. We're going to keep doing this. The next thing that we're going to
we're going to put the album and the track on next.
Show here is we're going to show the foreign key, right? So, artist ID is just an integer. In some database languages like MySQL and Oracle, you would put more stuff here to say this is a foreign key, blah, blah, blah. But in SQLite, we keep it simple and just say that is an integer column.
Okay.
The album table has a...
So in SQLite, it knows already, all right, that this is a foreign key. But if we were in like MySQL, we would have to say like foreign key down here. And that's what was confusing me yesterday, and it confused me all until right now. Because ChatGPT was saying, no, you got to put this stuff under here. It's SQL. That's what you do with SQL. But we're in SQLite, so we don't have to do that right now. But if we're not in SQLite, we have to put like foreign key and target this so that it knows that this is the foreign key. All right, so let's go.
A primary key and a foreign key, and then the title.
What are you doing?
So we'll go back and we'll grab that text out of my little page. This create table. Go back to execute SQL. And then run that.
True.
And we'll continue.
All right, we'll do that. Let's go grab, wait, are we putting genre?
The genre table has an ID.
All right, so we're going to get create table, album, genre, and track. All right, so let's go do that right now before he's done, because we like to be fast. We like to be faster than the man. All right, album, boom. I like to select it from the bottom and then go up. You can do whatever you want. No, you have to do it my way. I'm kidding. Wait, what was I kidding about? Anyway, let's go. So we're over here, back to the execute SQL tab. Highlight it all, drop it off. Don't press enter, press play. Control enter, actually. Control enter. Oh, okay, there we go. Look, we got that right there. Let's go to database structure, and look, we got album and artist, and it's in alphabetical order because L is before it. R. And now let's do the next one. Is this it? Yeah. Let's get genre. Actually, let's get both of these, and let's throw a semicolon at the end of it. Let's get them both. Copy it. And let's see if this works. If it doesn't, we just won't ever do it again. All right, drop it thusly. Let's see. Can we put semicolon here and semicolon here, and it'll work? Let's go look. Artist, genre, and track. Well, it looks like it worked. Hold on. It looks like it worked, didn't it? Okay. Okay. Genre, track, album ID, genre ID. Looks good. All right, let's see how the video goes.
On it, and primary key order. You'll just copy and paste these. That whole thing, you do that over and over and over again. So we'll go in here and run that one. And so the last one we're going to do is the track table. And the only thing that's kind of weird about the track table is it's got two foreign keys, right? It's got an album ID and a genre ID. Once you draw the picture, you just sort of literally translate these things. It's got two foreign keys.
So do we got to draw? So do we got to draw the picture first? Is that the thing here? Should we have been drawing this picture? Hold on. All right, 444. I'm glad I'm not Mista. Remember that guy off of JoJo 5? I do. So are we supposed to be drawing these first? You know what I'm saying? How about we go ask our old buddy. Our old buddy ChatGPT. Is it best practice to draw out a database structure before writing SQL? Question. Yes, it's generate them database to design our database. Okay, database schema design. Okay. So this is, I guess we're gonna need pen and paper. What are good design programs? There are several. My Squiggle Workbench, Lucy DD chart, DB diagram, IO, SQL DBM. Okay. And are they faster than a pen and paper? Okay, come on now. We're gonna need 1,000. 11. He stopped on 11. That's just... It's like... Can you just leave your superstitions out of my videos? And I know. I'm the same guy that talks about God all the time. But God isn't superstition. God is super. Okay. Get that through your atheist skull if you don't agree with me. All right, get that through your skull. God is super. It's not superstition. 11, ending things on 11 and talk about numbers. Okay, numbers were created by people. All right, guys, remember that. Numbers, the letter T, the letter O, the letter D, they were all created by people. Okay, there's nothing cool about worshiping numbers. It's stupid. All right, regardless, are they faster than pen and paper? Check it. What do you got to say? Designing a database. I like this one because it's almost done. All right. Designing a database using special is generally more efficient and effective than using pen and paper. Here's a comparison. Efficiency. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't care. All right, so maybe not. Anyway, so at some point we need to go and find a program. We've already got 11 of them over there, but we'll find a program to actually help us organize databases. But yeah, I think drawing them is probably the best thing to do, designing them beforehand. So let's go forward to 444. There we go. All right, let's get back to it.
Primary key that's pretty much just like all those other primary keys. And, you know, integer counts an integer and length's an integer, all that stuff. And now we've got it. So if we take a look at our database structure, we're going to see that our album, genre, and track are all set up.
Oh, we're cool, just like that.
Columns that we just made with those create statements. Okay? So now let's insert some data. This first insert statement is kind of important to take a look at.
Okay.
So insert into...
Okay, so this is probably on the this thing here. So yeah, it's right here. Here's these. So let's go and check it out.
By the way, the keywords can be upper or lowercase. Table name.
Oh, interesting. So these can be upper or lowercase. The keywords, the insert into. All right, so let's go.
Now, this table has two columns. It has ID and name, but we told the database that ID was auto increment, so it's going to actually give us the number. It's going to assign the number rather than make us assign. We could make it be one.
All right, cool. Fact is, that's awesome, but you know what? I just thought of something because I don't think we're going to be writing too many notes. So let's say, best practice. Find a database design program to help design databases before actually writing Writing SQL. All right. This is probably going to be the only thing we got to write down. So find a database design program to help design databases before actually writing SQL. All right, that sounds great. So let's go.
Give us the number. It's going to assign the number rather than make us assign. We could make it be 1, 2, 3, but we say, hey, database, you're good at this. Why don't you make it 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
And so there is going to be a record that it adds Led Zeppelin. So let's take a look at that. So we'll insert Led Zeppelin.
All right, let's do that. Let's come over here. Okay. You can think of the mountains, but the mountains washed away. Anyway, let's go.
Oops.
Oops.
Go over to SQL.
All right.
Insert Led Zeppelin and run it. So
let's do it. Insert Led Zeppelin. Where is that? Although I'm pretty sure Ocean is on Houses of the Holy and not on Led Zeppelin 4, but who cares? All right, let's go. Boom. And remember, Control Enter, because if we hover this, it'll say Control Enter, F5, Control R. Control R. I can just use one hand. All right, so we got that. Let's full screen.
Now, if I look at database structure and I look at let's look at browse data and look at the artist database, you will see that I put Led Zeppelin in, but this ID field here was auto incremented. And so
okay, let's go look at ours and see if the same thing happens. So browse data, Led Zeppelin 1. I'd already knew to go to artist. Led Zeppelin is going to be ID 1 forever on this music.db. Oh, databases are called .db. It turns out. All right, so let's go.
It was.
Also, let's come over back to the notes and let's say C. What is this thing called? SQLite. SQLite. Music.db. All right, there we go.
Was put there by the database. And now when we do the next insert, which is AC/DC,
back in the bag, I'm a Cadillac, I'm a bullet, I'm a power bag, I'm in the gang, go with the bang. Oh, you got to get me the woman to hang. All right, let's go. Here, let's throw AC/DC. Akadaka, they call it. I read on the internet. Browse data. Oh, look, number 2. There we go.
And we take a look at the data. We'll see that AC/DC is 2. Now,
right there.
If you're going to write this in a program,
what?
You can get these numbers back from the database in your program, but I'm not writing this in a program, so I have to remember that 1 is Zeppelin and 2 is AC/DC.
I don't have to write that down.
So I'm going to keep myself a little cheat sheet here to remember.
I don't need to write that down because I literally remember which one I put in first. But let's go.
Remember that. Because everywhere else in the program that we want to say Led Zeppelin, I got to say 1 now.
Yeah.
Because the artist ID of 1 means Led Zeppelin in those rows. And so now we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at the next one. And now we're going to put the genre in.
All right, let's go throw these genres in.
Think about it. We're working from the leaves out, where the track will be the last table that will update because we have to define the keys for things like rock and metal and Led Zeppelin and all those other things. And again, even though the genre table has 2 columns, ID and name, we're only going to specify the name and let the database assign the value.
Okay.
So I'm going to insert both of these and use the semicolon.
All right, so we'll do that. Let's go over to this. Grab these 2 genres. Copy them. All right, let's go over to our SQL, MySQLite, or SQLite, or whatever it is. Let's throw it in here to execute SQL like that. What? Did we already have? What? How do I... Do we got to do it? Is it Control Y? Yeah, Control Y is go back. I mean, undo or redo, whatever. All right, so this one already had, for some reason, the... What? How did it know? Look, it put them all. It put them on there for us. Because look, oh no. There's a couple of these on there already. All right, there's a couple of semicolons there already. All right, whatever. All right, so he's gonna add them, but we already have them there. So let's do a Control R to slap them in there. Let's go to Browse Data. Let's go over to Genre, and we got rock and metal. Rock number 1, metal number 2. Okay. Let's go.
Trick. Put a semicolon here and a semicolon there.
True.
And run that. And so if I take a look at my browse data and I look at the genre, it's assigned 1 to rock and 2 to metal. And I'm going to write that down.
1 to rock, 2 metal.
2 metal. I should have done something like rock and country because I can't even tell the difference between rock and metal. But
okay, before you get it any further into not knowing the difference, metal is a subgenre of rock. Rock is a genre and metal is a subgenre. That's what's going on. But it's also a genre. But it's a subgenre. You get what I'm saying? Not all rock is metal, but all metal is rock. Let's go.
Whatever. That's my musical skill is not what's at issue in this class.
It is not.
So now
nobody's perfect at everything.
To put an album in. The album is the first thing that has a foreign key. So if you remember the thing, the album points to artist, and so that means it has a foreign key of artist ID.
Who made who?
And so we have to explicitly say this because the system doesn't.
All right, what did he say? Hold on.
We're going to put an album in. The album is the first thing that has a foreign key. So if you remember the thing, the album points to artist. And so that means it has a foreign key of artist ID. And so we have to explicitly say this because the system doesn't know which artist Who Made Who is, but we know that Who Made Who is AC/DC, and that's 2. And so we know to put artist ID in. So we'll say insert into album, title, artist ID. And so we have to know what this 2 number is. And of course, because we have our handy little cheat.
Did he just say what I heard him say? He did. This is the second time I've watched this video. He did absolutely just say what I heard him say. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. So says Diddy. All right, so let's grab this. Copy it. Let's go over here to SQL. Is that what he's doing? All right, we copied it.
We can go over to execute.
All right, so let's execute this. Let's go over here. Do a Control A, Control V, Control R. And boom, we did it. Let's go back over to Browse Data. Let's go over to Albums. Who Made Who? Artist ID 2. That must be AC/DC, right? 4. Artist ID 1. That must be Led Zeppelin, right? But this is going to, but Who Made Who is now going to be the first album as ID album 1, and 4 is ID album 2. So we totally confused ourselves, but no big deal because we're not stupid. Let's go. Maybe you're not stupid.
And run that, and I'll put a semicolon there and a semicolon there.
All right.
And run it.
So back up, Chuck. Did we put our semicolons? Oh, they were already there? Were they already there? Ah, they were already there. All right, so the semicolons are going to be on this for the rest of the thing, it seems. Or for the rest of the ones that are like next to each other. Black Dog, Stairway to Heaven, for those about to rock. Who Made Who? All right. Let's go.
In the album field, we now have this. And so this was assigned. And so who made who, still have to write down that who made who is album 1 and album 2 is Led Zeppelin 4. That makes it even more complex because the name of the album is Roman numeral 4.
True.
I'm sure I can figure that out. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to insert the track record. Now, if you think about the track record, the track has 2 foreign keys, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's got the title, it's got the rating, length, count, but then we got the 2 foreign keys, and so we have to know these numbers. So this 2-1, this 2-1, this 1-2 is the genre. We're specifying the genre and the album that this track is from by those numbers. Now, again, we have to use this cheat sheet, but if this was a program, the program would know that 1 was Zeppelin and, or 1 was Who Made Who and 2 was Led Zeppelin 4. And
exactly. And remember, guys, we're in the middle of a Python class, right? This is not a SQL class. This is a SQL section in a Python class. We will be writing the programs to do this stuff for us, right? So let's just get this manual labor out of the way so we know how to do it manually, just in case we forget Python, but we don't forget how to make databases. And let's go.
So that the programs, this kind of stuff is easier for the program to understand than for us to keep track of and understand. But just so we can get through these few records, and that's why I rely so heavily on my cheat sheet. So here we are all with all these numbers, the foreign keys.
All right, let's go take those tracks and slap them in there. All right, so here we are. Use all these tracks from this line up to here. Let's do a Control C. Come over to Squeal, MySQL, Control A, Control V, Control R. And remember, these already have the semicolons. Some saint put them in there for us. We ran it with the Control R. Let's go over to the data structure. Let's go to the browse data. What did we just do? Tracks. And look at that. We got Black Dog. It's going to be on album 2. So is Stairway to Heaven is going to be on album 2. And then For Those About to Rock is going to be 1. And Who Made Who is going to be on 1 as well. And then Stairway to Heaven and Black Dog are both with the artist 1. And he's going to go over this, but I'll say it anyway. The numbers are allowed to repeat, okay? We got to repeat something. We just don't want to repeat strings because this is just one character, and this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9 characters, all right? So this is 9 times bigger than this. So why do this one over and over when we can just do this one over and over? We could do 9 of these and get as many characters as one of these, right? So yeah, let's do it that way. Oh, it's not play. We're not even there. Okay, let's go.
The tricky part here. Everything else is really quite straightforward. True. So now I'm going to insert 4 records into my track table. And then run that.
That guy just slams that keyboard when he's typing, doesn't he?
My track table.
That is that how loud mine is? Listen, here's me typing. Here's me clicking. Is mine that loud? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, let's go.
And then run that. Okay. So if I browse data and I look at my track table, this column here, this ID, that's the primary key of the track table, and then here are the 2 foreign keys.
True.
Now the interesting thing is now there is replication in these columns.
Just like I said.
But the numbers are what's being replicated, and that's okay. We went a long time just not to put Led Zeppelin 4 in twice. We could have made this a string, but by making this an integer, it saves tons of storage and makes it super fast. That turns out to be one of the key things that makes databases super fast is using these integers.
All right, that makes sense. I wonder how long they went just doing it like this with names and stuff before they said, you know what we could do? If we just made Black Dog on album 2 and genre 1, and then just gave Black Dog the idea 1, man, you know what? We could probably save a lot of space and a lot of time. And someone said, yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. They both had the same voice and the same accent. Anyway, so that's how that went in history, based on a true story. Let's go.
So we take a look at all this stuff. We see that in a sense, by using these little numbers, we are pointing to rows in other tables. The foreign keys are always pointing. They always point to their ID. So these foreign keys are out here. This is the primary key up here. And they always point to a row in another table. And so we
very simple. Very simple, it seems. This album ID points to anything on the album table. Okay, this genre ID is going to point to anything on the genre table that's, you know, associated with the numbers. And then this artist right here is going to, this artist ID is going to associate anything from the artist table. And these numbers are going to be corresponding to the fields over here. So there we go. Let's go.
Relationships. And you will notice that in this entire database, the who made who only appears once.
True. Where is it? Right there. Who made who right there? Although clearly it's twice, right? What? Anyway, let's go.
The word rock only appears once. The word AC/DC only appears once. What we have is we have duplication in our data, but we are duplicating the relationships, i.e. these little integer numbers, not duplicating the data itself. And in something that's this small, it seems irrelevant. Getting the
okay. Also, this who made who is the actual name of a track, all right? This who made who is the song who made who, and this who made who is the album who made who. That's a little confusing, but whatever. Let's go.
Data itself. And in something that's this small, it seems irrelevant. But if you have billions of records or hundreds of millions of records, it's very relevant. Very, very relevant.
Very relevant.
So the next thing we're going to do is take a look at how you actually reconnect all this stuff together once we've sort of blown it out in these, using these foreign keys and hand constructing all these relationships, now how we bring it back together to show the data to the user.
That was one sentence that was very hard to follow, but we don't need to go over it again because we're smart. All right, so there we go. That's actually not too bad. I'm glad we were able to get through this strongly. Let's come over here and do the question. Question, what does the insert command do in SQL, in SQL? Defines a new row by listing the fields we want to include, followed by the values we want placed in the new row. That sounds good. Defines a new column? No. Defines a new table by listing the rows and fields we want to include. No. It's the row, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. What did the other one say? Make a new column? No. Make a new table? No. No. All right, cool. Anyway. Looks good and submit it. All right. So now we're on to relational databases, join operation, and we'll see you next time.